All right, YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Wolf 4K coming at you guys with another one. So, I guess most of the hype has kind of died off of the new iPhones and whatever. So I'm finally making a video on which one I'll be purchasing, and kind of give you guys a reason as to why I think you should purchase the same one as well. So, um, I figure if you didn't upgrade from, all right, this is geared toward people who have like I'd say a seven and older. So a seven, a 6S, 7 plus, 6S plus and below. So yeah, 7 plus and below. If you didn't upgrade for the 10, if you didn't upgrade for the 10S, and if you didn't grab the 10R, then I say you should upgrade now. But we'll get into that later on. So originally I had an iPhone. Let's see, I had an iPhone 6S plus. Then I skipped the 7 and skipped the 8. The 10 came out, so I got the 10. Then the 10S came out, so I grabbed the 10S Max. And so my 10S Max was actually stolen a couple months ago. And instead of replacing it, I've been rocking the Samsung Galaxy A50 just for like daily use. And I'm looking at the iPhones, and originally I was gonna go for the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but I'm gonna tell you why I switched to the iPhone 11 instead of the Pro Max. So, number one, be it well, let's get into it. I guess let's go ahead and look at it. The only difference between the Pro and the Pro Max is literally the screen and the battery. Bigger device, more room for a bigger battery. That's that's known. The only difference is really between it's now here it is. You get a 6.5-inch display on the Max versus a 5.8 on the Pro. And the ratio changes is a little different too. 2436 by 1125 at 458, and the Max has 2688 by 1242 at 458. So that's like whatever. But now, internally, these phones, the Pro Max, and the 11 are all the same phone. Only difference is the this is basically like a LCD display, basically. So with the Pro and the Pro Max, you get basically OLED displays. Well, HDR supported OLED displays, and with the regular 11, you get a LCD display. And of course, they're so stainless steel and glass on the Pros versus glass and aluminum for the 11. But these aren't really important. The screen adds somewhat. If you're super big on resolution and screens, then off rip just go for the Pro. But I wanna show you guys something. Um, so even on the YouTube app, when I finally get mine, I'll be able to show you guys this. Even on the YouTube app, if you have an 11, you can watch videos at 1080p because it's like a software type thing. You won't really notice the difference unless you're truly into screens and you really are like a person who is basically you know your monitors, you know your TVs, you know your screens, and you know your pixels. But day-to-day use, you're not gonna see the true each individual pixel. You're just not. Now that's one of the that's like the biggest and major difference is the screens. And then the cameras. So onto the cameras. The only camera you don't get on the Pro is that telephoto camera. And to me, that's not a big deal. I don't see it as a big deal. I just don't. Like, I mean, cool, I'm missing out on the camera. So basically, between the 11 and the Pro, what is it? Like, because the one I want to get is I want to get the Pro Max 512 in midnight green, and I think that's like a what, 15, $1,600 phone. And the 11 I'm gonna get is black at 256 gigabytes, and it's like 850. So I save like between $600 to $800 depending on the actual prices of the phone. I don't know off the top of my head. So anyways, yeah, let's get into it. Here's the internals of the phone. You get the same cameras. Like, and I believe this. I want to say this is the front camera. I think this is the front camera. Yeah, yeah, these are the front cameras. Here's the rear cameras. Triple 12 megapixel ultra wide, wide and telephoto cameras. These are both the pros. They're the exact same. The 11, however, gets dual 12 megapixel ultra wide and wide cameras with night mode. So they're the exact same with the exception of that third 12 megapixel telephoto camera lens, or my fault, camera. So it's that for me isn't a big deal. I don't really see it being a big deal. They all three of them have night mode, which is good. But yeah, here's the front. Here's the actual true internals of the phone. The front camera, the processor, and all that. All right, 12 megapixel camera with 4K video recording up to 60 frames per second. That's across the board. The Pro, the Pro Max, and the 11 can all do it. Face ID across the board. 813 Bionic across the board. The exact same chip across the board. Now we get into one of the other major differences: the battery life. Of course, the Pros are going to have stronger batteries than the 11, with the Pro Max having the strongest battery because it does have the biggest battery. So of course that's gonna be the strongest battery. And then here's another difference that my phone never goes near water in the first place. Like I don't drop my phone in the sink. I don't drop my phone in the toilet. I don't drop my phone in the pool. I don't take my phone to the ocean. I don't take my phone to the beach. My phone does not see water. If I'm within water, best if I'm near water, best believe my phone, let's say a pool or the beach, my phone is sitting way back. There's no way my phone can make it to the water unless it's taken to the water. Like there's no accidental bump. Oh, now my phone's in the pool. No, there's no. I'm not the person that have my phone in the water at all. So this doesn't really matter to me. My phones never see water whatsoever, even in their protective cases. So I mean, this isn't big for me, but if it's big for you, then okay. Basically, you get twice the depth for the same amount of time. You get extra 2 meters of water that like that the phone can be submerged into. So capacity is like one of the other bigger things. I don't see it as a big thing because most people are gonna spring for the 64 gigs anyway, but I recommend people go a step above and get the 128 or the 256, at least the 128. Like usually when I get my phones, I go for the highest storage because I do take a lot of pictures and I do take a lot of video. So yeah, and I mean I have like I use Apple Music, so a lot of my music is stored locally on my phone rather than having it pulled from the cloud. But that's whatever. So this is what I think the third or fourth difference is the capacities. But like I said, most people should just stick with mid tier, maybe lower tier if you're on a budget. But if you're on a budget, then 9 times out of 10 you're looking at the 11. You're looking at the regular 11 anyways. So these are your options if you're on a budget. And I mean, if I went like $700, 64 gigabytes, I mean that's pretty good. The amount of tech you get in like an Apple phone, in like an iPhone from Apple for $700 is pretty good. Now, here we are at the displays. Like I said, the displays are the exact same for the Pro and the Pro Max, other than size and resolution due to the size. They're both 1080. What is this? I want to say 2K, 2K displays. So yeah, um, iPhone 11 is a little under 1080p, but when you're actually using apps, when you're using apps and things like that, and like let's say like you're using YouTube, you're watching videos, it's gonna give you the HD, the full HD option, the 1080p option. Um, so yeah, the only thing you don't get on the LCD display is HDR, high dynamic range. You, it's once again, if you're just the average regular consumer, you won't notice this. I might notice it because I use HDR screens, like my monitors are HDR, but at the same time, I really don't really care about my phone having it. Everything else is the same. True tone display, wide color display, haptic touch. Cool. Um, Now this is what I want to get into. The nits, the max brightness. Once the phone hits around, what is it? I think 300 or 400 nits. That's when the whole 1080p thing kind of goes out the window, because granted the phone doesn't have native 1080p, but it's kind of like a software upscaling, if you type of thing, if you will, meaning that you might so you'll think that it's 1080p, but it's not true 1080p when you're on apps like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu. and you're watching actual content. So there's that, and everything else is the same exact chip. The cameras are the same. They're the exact same except for the telephoto lens, the telephoto camera. And of course, because you don't have a telephoto camera, you don't get the 10 times digital zoom. You just don't. And another here's you get so you have dual optical image stabilization in the pros. The regular 11 you get single. You get solo. So it's just one camera doing the optical image stabilization, which is okay. Everything else the exact same. They both take HDR photos. They both record 4K 60 frames per second. That's not really see look here right here. Everything's the exact same except for like I said, the telephoto gives you that digital zoom up to 6 times. So yeah, front cameras they're the exact same. These phones are identical on the inside, and I cannot stress that enough. And everything else of course is the same. So like I said, I'm springing for. Oh yeah, now let's get into why I'm springing for the 11 and not the pros. I don't see enough upgrade in the phone. Well, yeah, to quote MKBHD Marquez, I don't see enough pro in the phone to justify me, I guess, financing the phone for a year. Because let's be real, like I'm a regular person. I'm not gonna go out and just, I'm not gonna just go out and pay $1,500 for this phone flat out. And I don't get a review unit. So I mean, like this is my own money. This year, I'm going for the iPhone 11 because, like I said, my iPhone XS Max was stolen, and yeah, I've been using an Android. I really I don't like Android. I just don't like it. So yeah, so now why I'm getting the Pro or I'm getting the 11 over the Pros is because there's not enough Pro in this phone. When I think of Pro, I think of excuse me, I think of let's see what the 4K display. I think of USB Type C charging. Come on, Apple. Can we finally have you? Every other Apple device has USB-C type charging, especially the Pro lineup. iPad Pro, USB Type USB-C charging. MacBooks, MacBook Pro, USB Type C charging. Why? I'm not gonna get into that. So that's two things, and I'm just the phone isn't impressive enough. Oh yeah, my fault. And the camera. I guess that telephoto camera could somewhat, could somewhat mimic the Pro, but I'm just not seeing enough in this phone to justify it being called the Pro and Pro Max. But that's just me. Like I said, I'm springing for the iPhone 11 because I'm waiting until 2020 until next year's iPhones come out, and then that's when I'll probably upgrade. Hopefully, it has Type C charging. Hopefully, it has reversible wireless charging. Just there's different things that I kind of expect and want to see in a pro phone when I hear the term pro, especially from Apple. But anyways, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys, hope this guys gave you a little insight on making your buying decision and why I think you should get the 11 over the 11 Pro. Once again, the phones, just base phones themselves, are exactly the same. The only difference is the screen, the camera, and the battery life. That is it. I guarantee you, if you're not using your phone very heavily, you won't notice a performance difference between your 11 or your friend's Pro. Maybe his Pro Max because of the battery, but you won't notice a big enough difference between your 11 and your friend's 11 Pro. You just won't, other than screen and battery. Oh, and of course the back end of it. But anyways, man, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.